Ubisoft has been putting tons of money and resources into the Assassin's Creed franchise, and it's pretty clear they see the IP as their ticket out of their financial issues. However, there is another Ubisoft IP that consistently does well financially, and the publisher hasn't forgotten about it. In fact, we just got some major intel about the future of the Far Cry franchise, including minor details on the 2 in development games. That's right. Apparently 2 Far Cry games are in the works as we speak. So let us know in the comments section below if you think these new Far Cry projects sound interesting, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and let's get right into it. So the last Far Cry game to be released was Far Cry 6 back in 2021. The game reviewed well and sold pretty decently, but compared to previous Far Cry games like 3 and 5, it was a bit of a disappointment, which is why we didn't get a ton of marketing post-launch or a standalone spin-off game like how Far Cry 4 got Primal and Far Cry 5 got New Dawn. It seems Ubisoft just thought it was better to walk away. And other than a few DLC releases, it seems they did step back to work on the future of the Far Cry franchise. And it's quite unfortunate that Far Cry 6 had to be scaled down a bit in order to run on both the 8th and 9th generation consoles, so it makes sense for Ubisoft just to simply let 6 fade away while they start work on some truly next-gen experiences that will live up to the hype the franchise definitely deserves. So on July 18th, a bit of Far Cry intel popped up on 4chan, and it lined up with some things that we heard earlier this year. So seeing as this leak comes from 4chan, take this with a grain of salt, because obviously 4chan is extremely hit or miss on some things like this. 4chan leaks are either completely made up or it's 100% real, but if it is legit, this is going to be a pretty good idea where the Far Cry franchise is going in the next few years. According to the leaker, there are 2 Far Cry games in development right now, one being the next big main installment and spin-off game with a very interesting concept. The leaker claims Far Cry 7 is going to be titled Far Cry Rise, and it will take place on a fictional island in the Yellow Sea near Korea. The story synopsis reads, in Far Cry Rise, you find yourself stranded on Kimsan, a remote tropical island resort in the Yellow Sea, taken over by North Korean insurgents and their leader, who it seems has some very special plans for the people on the island. In Far Cry Rise, players are put in the role of either Andrew or Mina Park, who are Korean idols who must learn to survive to save their sibling from the expanding insurgency. From the conflicts you decide to engage in, down to the allies or foes you meet along the way, rise to the challenge and choose how the story of Far Cry Rise unfolds. In addition to the plot synopsis, the leaker also says you can play the campaign in solo or either co-op with up to 3 people. In addition to that, it seems Ubisoft will be launching Far Cry Conquest, which is an open world, narrative-driven, extraction-based game where 3-person squads play what is essentially Far Cry's version of Escape from Tarkov or Call of Duty's DMZ mode. Now let's just hope they can do it better. The story progresses as you complete missions around the map, and the gameplay loop is all about getting into hot territories, grabbing as much stuff as you can, and getting back to the checkpoint without dying. The leaker also claims there will be up to 90 players on a server at one time, and also bots populating the map as well. It seems like the extraction-based shooters are becoming the new norm, and pretty cool after Escape from Tarkov proved how much money there was actually to be made in this concept. But I will say, if there's any AAA franchise that could do an extraction mode justice, it's the Far Cry franchise. The game is already all about the fantastic visuals and exploring gigantic maps. Adding in some hostile players running around causing mischief, it seems like the perfect fit for the franchise's identity. Now sadly, the leaker didn't say anything about a release window for the 2 games other than a vague implication that they will be released at the same time. But from the sound of it, it seems Ubisoft is trying to make their own version of Warzone, meaning a live service companion game to their big FPS franchise. And if that's the case, I'm expecting the games to go live at the same time and also likely serve as portals to each other. And with that being said, an extraction-based mode in Far Cry already sounds like an awesome idea, but to me, if this gets the same kind of ongoing support that Warzone has gotten since 2020, this could very quickly become one of the biggest FPS games on the market. But maybe I'm just being a little optimistic here, but a Far Cry extraction-based live service game sounds like a slam dunk idea to me, and I feel that's the kind of thing Ubisoft, in theory, should be able to nail. But what do you guys think? Are you more excited for the next mainline Far Cry game, or are you more interested in a live service? Does Far Cry Rise sound like a good Far Cry 7? Be sure to let us know in the comments section below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with all of your notifications turned on so you don't miss any future updates. This has been Zach with VGL. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you soon.